Whilst I'm resurfacing my CNC machine, it's time to dig out the hulls for my skimmer project, and there they are over there, and I got to take them out from behind all that junk and get them out there on top of the car. CNC's blaring in the background, so I got my earmuffs on. This thing doesn't weigh too much, but it's just long and awkward and a little bit heavy, but it's not too bad. It's just I'm banging the walls and trying to get it out, hitting the front, and then you'll see I actually knock over the other hull as I'm trying to maneuver this thing around, but we get there in the end. Uh-oh, here it goes. Put it down and whammo. So tying these things on isn't too bad. This is probably the third time I've had to do it now because we've had to move house and do some work at the garage and don't knock them off at work, so it's pretty simple. I just throw a strap over the top, lift them up into place, and the straps aren't quite long enough, so I need to just use a little extension strap to secure them down there. If I was going for a long drive, I definitely wouldn't do it this way. Because that doesn't connect to that, I use an extender to join this one to that one, and I wouldn't use it down the highway, but just to home, no worries. We're ready to go, eh, Max? Max, what's over there? Straps are on. Oh man, I can't wait to finish this boat. So we get the hulls back from the warehouse. A little bit tricky. They were wobbling around on the car a little bit, but I got them off. And so I thought it might be worthwhile doing a quick recap on what the actual project is going to be. So there it is. So it's two 20-foot Gary Dierking design single outrigger main hulls, which I'm going to then turn into a double canoe catamaran. You can see there that I've got so far 3 cross beams. It's all just temporarily set up here just to give you an idea of how it's going to look. But it's 2.5 meters wide, which is about 8.5 feet, 20 foot long. I've salvaged the mast, which is going to work perfect. Got a slight little bend in it, but I think it'll work perfectly. Because there'll be a lot of camp cruising, this will be a slatted deck through here. The helmsman will sit back here steering. Won't be paddle steering, it'll be steering via conventional kick-up rudders and a long tiller, and then probably a tiller extension. I've been thinking about having some hiking benches out here so you can hike out and get some weight out. There'll be a self-draining cockpit floor at this level through here with drain holes on the side. What else is there to say? The lee board, there'll be 2 lee boards, and initially they'll be movable until I find the correct center of lateral resistance on the hulls, but somewhere around here and somewhere around there, and then be able to slide it back and forward as needed. This will be a decked foredeck on both sides with hatches in here and here. Up there, the very ends of each hull, so 1, 2, 3, 4 will be completely sealed and filled full of watertight material. So maybe some plastic bottles that are sealed, but whatever it is, it's going to be buoyant. So should the worst thing happen, the boat is never going to sink. For sail, I've got a 165 square foot outrigger junior sail from Chesapeake Light Craft, which is made here in Australia by some guys down, there it is up there, down in Tasmania. I'm New South Wales, they're down there. And then I'm going to have a jib. So the sail will have it's got a 6 meter long yard, and a 6 meter long boom, and then I'll have a jib running off a bridle between the bows, and that way I'll have a sheeting position here, and that means I'll be able to tack. I'll be able to back the jib every time I tack, ease the sheets, go around, no dramas. From what I've seen, these boats are, if you just go with a pure catamaran without a jib, hard to tack. So jobs, things to do. Obviously there's quite a lot of work left to do, but the main hulls are pretty much built apart from paint. And the flooring, the whole bottom skin, the foredeck skins, and the cockpit, and then it comes down to fiberglassing and then painting. These, I've already glued these cross arms up, so they'll need to be turned into around 100 millimeter diameter. These need to be glued up as well, and there'll be 2 half beams through here, so probably about here and here, maybe even 3. I've been collecting, which is pretty cool, a bunch of driftwood planks at a beach nearby, and I've got quite a few here. And somehow, I'm not sure how, but I've got 1, 2, 3, that way, 4. Anyway, if I could get like a collection of these and get enough of them, I think that'd look a pretty sick deck to go on this boat. Still trying to figure out what my color is going to be. Tossing up between white sides and varnished rails or a black hull, and leaving all the spars completely natural so they weather and age. A bit more of like an Ontong Java by Hans Klaus. Yeah, still trying to figure it out. Here's some footage of the actual boats that Gary designed and were used in the, what do you call it? The Eco Challenge Fiji in over there in Fiji, and they built, I think it was like 100 of these boats used for the Eco Challenge, and then a lot of communities were then given 2 hulls to then turn into what they call a drua, which is basically it's a shunting catamaran. Here's some footage. So basically picture that between this beam and the back beam. I think it'd look pretty cool. But of course there'd be none in the footwells. That'd be left open because that's where you stand, sit, paddle. And you know, if you have this whole thing decked, that's going to be quite heavy. So just through the center only. Also have a 3.3 Evan outboard, which I picked up, which works fantastic. Probably need just to check the impeller. Water does come out from the telltale, but I think it should be a bit more. But ultimately, it's a really good, clean motor. Plenty of power, starts first time. A little fuel tank on top. Perfect for what we need on skimmer. In the workshop, I picked up this paddle yonks ago, and seeing this paddle for sale cheap is what actually started the whole idea. I'm like, man, I want to build another outrigger canoe, but this time a double outrigger. And that's where the skipper's going to sit there. So let's do it. So you'll be able to paddle from here. Boop, got the paddle. You'll also have a tiller over here. Look, whoop. Mast just fell down, but nothing broke. Fantastic. So you'll be able to sit here. Here's tiller in hand, tiller extension, feet up in the well, paddle in hand to be able to paddle if you need to. I'm glad nothing fell. I'm glad nothing broke when that mast fell down. I actually half expected that was going to happen anyway. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Really excited to be back to boat building and can't wait to get this thing finished and going sailing. I think it's going to be bloody fantastic. I'll see you in the next video where I start to cut and install the plywood bottom skins and the cockpit sole.